We're now moving into day 2 of section 1.4. Just to go back to yesterday, in 1.4 we were talking about combining functions and composing functions together. We're going to go a little bit the opposite way today. We're going to pull functions apart. This one called decompositions, so we got a decomposing apple down here. We're going to decompose these functions and find out, so if we were to take this function right here, this number 1, what would be possible functions that could come out of that? So if we wanted to call, if we said that y was f of g of x, that being the case, what would be a possibility for f of x and what would be a possibility for g of x? Now the reason I say a possibility is because there could be more than one answer for a lot of these different decompositions. So you might get something different on certain problems in the book than the back of the book has. There's more than one right answer in some cases. In this one there's a pretty clear-cut logical way to do it, but that's not to say that there couldn't be others. First of all, I like to look at what is on the inside. So find some parentheses in the problem. The parentheses in this problem are around the x cubed plus 1. So I would submit that g of x, probably the most natural fit for that one, is x cubed plus 1. Now if that's the case, we took that out of this space, and so what would have been there originally would have just been an x. So that means that f of x would just be x squared. If I go back the other direction and compose them like this, we would go to our equation that we see up there. Number 2 is fairly similar, though perhaps a little bit easier in this case. We notice that we have e to the sine of x. If you don't see any parentheses, we can kind of make where those parentheses are going to go, because there's nothing else besides sine of x in the exponent there. So let's just call that the inside. So if I'm talking about f of x and g of x again, g of x is what's on the inside, and so I would say sine of x is on the inside. If we leave that, if we take that sine of x out, we have to have something back in there, and the most basic thing to have back in there is x. So then I would go e to the x as our f of x function.